Hi guys! So this is my video for the cultural excursion. Pardon my falling apart house in the background. I'm getting my house remodeled and just falling apart until it's fixed. So sorry about that. So I live in a really small town. And so there's not much going on around here. But there was a cook-off. So I did go to that. And I'll tell you why that's a different experience for me. I'm from Houston, Texas. I grew up in Pasadena, which is, city. I grew up in Houston. I lived in Houston until I was 27-ish. So I never experienced much of the country life. But I moved as an adult when I was 28. I moved to the country. I got a job teaching in this small town called Rockdale, and I moved here to the country. And so I have learned, I'm still learning a lot about the country life and people. And so, so I've never been to a cook-off, believe it or not. I've been to the fair. Rockdale has we have a fair every year where they have country music and a carnival and crafts and arts and crafts, stuff like that. So I've been to that part, mostly just the carnival part of it. And that's just to take my son. So I don't really go to the singing and dancing and all that part of it. Not because I don't want to, just, I don't know. So anyway, so that's all I could find around here to go to. So I packed up and I went to the neighboring town and we went to the cook-off. So, if you've never, which I'm sure I'm the only one here that's never been to a cook-off, but if you've never been to a cook-off, they have, all these trailers, these people, apparently they spend the night, I guess, with their trailers, and they barbecue all night long. It's a big party, and then I guess they get judged on their barbecue, I don't know, I think. And then, they have singers that come, country singers, that come at night and do a little performance and all of that. So that's what the cook-off is. So the night we went, Corey Morrow was playing. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. I like country music, but, I don't know. So he was playing. Yeah, so that is what we did. So the questions we got here. Preconceived notions about the culture group. So this culture group, I guess, would be, I wouldn't say it was all of one race in particular. There were lots of different races of people there, but it's country people, like rednecks, mostly, with their cowboy boots and stuff. And so, so I guess that's the culture that we're talking about here. And so what preconceived notions I had about these people before going is, kind of they're all going to be in their cowboy hats and their cowboy boots, and they're going to have a dip in their mouth and a beer in their hand, and I don't know, some barbecue here and there, and I don't really know, I guess I guess dancing and just, maybe I thought, they would be playing some games, washers or something, and a lot of drunkenness, is kind of what I thought, because it was at night, it was later at night, and I know that the country folk like to drink their beer, so I thought, we're gonna go and there's gonna be the cowboy hats and the cowboy boots and the Wranglers and the people two-stepping and beer and dip and spitting everywhere. Like, yeah. So, anyways, how has this experience affected those ideas? So some of my preconceived notions were true, some were not. There were a lot of drunk people with their beers, yeah. But the cowboy hats and the cowboy boots, not so much. I guess that's not much of a thing anymore. I don't know. People were just in normal clothes. Just like jeans and a shirt, or dresses, some girls, or shorts, or whatever. Nothing that I would consider like country and western. I don't know. And that's what I had kind of thought ahead of time. So it was mostly just, everyday clothes. There was a guy in overalls with like nothing underneath, so that was a little different. But yeah. And then I guess I thought that I would see people with like tobacco just spitting it everywhere, but not really. A lot of beer drinking, and that yeah, that was one of my preconceived notions. But I guess it did show me that, that not all people in the country walk around in their cowboy boots and cowboy hats and their Wrangler jeans, two-stepping and doing all of that, because there wasn't, there were a few people here and there, but overall, not so much. But what was weird was that there were a lot of kids there, and I was like, it was late at night by the time the band played. I think it was like 10 p.m. He played from 10 to 12 or midnight, and there were a lot of young kids there. There were a lot of, like junior high age and elementary age kids, but there were also a lot of like babies, like toddlers. So that was interesting to me, because I'm like, you have your 2-year-old out here at midnight while you're drinking beer. So that was different. When I was raised, the kids, we didn't go out past like 9, we were in bed or whatever. So, these people were just kind of like, we want to party and we want to have fun. And so we're just tote the kid along. It was kind of like, if you've ever seen, what's that movie called? Sweet Home Alabama, where she's like, you have a baby in a bar. So it's kind of what it's like. You have a baby at the cook-off. So that was kind of a different thing for me, but hey, to each their own. And then, what did you learn that will help you as a counselor of youth from this background? I think just that it's different. You can't assume that everybody is raised in the same culture experiences that you were, because that is definitely not true of the country life from what I'm used to in the city. When I got off school, I might have done a couple chores here and there, and might have unloaded the dishwasher or something, and then I don't know, played video games or hung out with a friend at their house, or we would go to the mall, maybe the movies. But these kids, they're getting off of school and they're tending to their livestock. They're, taking care of the cows and the sheep and the pigs or whatever, and they're hunting. I didn't know anybody that went hunting when I was in school. Like, we can go hunting. And so now, these kids, they hunt, like, starting at, I don't know, like, infancy. They're hunting. Not really, but, yeah. They've got their kids with guns. And so it's different. It's just different from what I'm used to. Not in a bad way. I'm not saying that at all. It's just different. So I think that it's important to go into counseling, especially when you work with kids who come from a different background than you. Like, most of the kids in this town are going to come from different background than me because it's a small town and it's just totally different than what I'm used to. So I think you have to go into it knowing that that things are going to be different. Their daily life is different than what you're used to. And so I think that's just a big thing, is that you can't go into it like everything's going to be the same, or that what they're going through because you were a kid also. Yes, but a kid from a different cultural experience. In these small towns, well, here at least, in these country people, beer is it's like a tea. It's, you get off work, you go have a beer. So, that's, I think, and I don't know for sure, maybe they start drinking at a younger age, or have tried alcohol at a younger age, just because everybody does. That's just what you do. And I don't know if that's the facts, but it seems like it is, but I'm not sure. Just from talking to my students and stuff, it seems like they've all, they'll have it with their parents at home, like, I don't know, just different. So I think you just have to look at it like, everybody's experiences in life and growing up are different, and you can't take your own childhood or your own life experiences and assume that how it is for them because you were there, when it's a totally different set of cultures that you're in. So you really need to, get to know the student, let them tell you about themselves and their lives before you can kind of talk with them through things. So it was definitely a fun experience. We did have a lot of fun listening to some good music and just, walking around and seeing things. So it was fun. And I'm actually learning to love the country life, believe it or not. I mean, it's just different than I'm used to. Like, these people, they'll drive like their lawnmowers down the highway, and you're like, and yeah, but I'm happy to live in the country. I've recently got chickens and pigs, so busting into the farming part of it, but it's fun, and my son, he loves it here, and so I'm happy to get to raise him in the country. It's definitely different than I'm used to, but it's fun, and it's a lot of work, keeping up with the stuff, the land and the animals and everything, but it's fun. So we're enjoying it, and so this is all he's ever known. He's been here since he was born, but I'm embracing a new way of life, and I'm loving it. So thank you.